Hi everyone, welcome back to another Memorydex Challenge Monday. This is where I challenge you to create a small art or craft at least once a week. I chose Memorydex cards because they're the perfect size for a tiny piece of art and because I just love them. But of course, you can do any small art or craft that you choose. Let's just craft together. So today's card is card number 15, and I chose the prompt circles. So last week I did tiles, I believe, and I thought that worked out so well for me that I thought I would choose another simple prompt. So this week's prompt is circles. And to do that, I am going to use my paper punches to cut some circles out of just some scrapbooking pages that I have in my stash. I don't even know which books these came out of. I just pulled them and sat them aside some time ago because I love the neutral, earthy colors of these papers. But before I do that, I'm going to use this piece of paper that came in I think it was a creative art or your creative studio subscription box. It was just what was wrapped around the items. And I'm going to use that to just cover my little piece of, I think it's cereal box. And I am going to cover this craft colored side and leave the white. I guess it's not a cereal box if there's white on the back. It's some kind of packaging. Anyway, I'm just going to cover this. And now I've got a nice white clean back for my card, and I've got the front covered. Then I'm going to punch out a bunch of circles. So I am going to do one large one. I think I've got a 2.5, and a 1-inch punch. And I'm not doing many big pieces because they're not going to fit on this little Memorydex card. But I'm doing a multiple bunch of colors, let's say, in all of these neutrals that I like, because I'm kind of thinking of the idea, when you see one of those prints and it's got the moon cycles on it, that's what I thought of when I thought of circles. So I'm just choosing, I'm not going to be able to put that one on there. It's going to be too big, but I've got a 2.5, a 2-inch, and then I'm going to put all these little 1-inch pieces around. And that's my circles. So this is a really easy prompt to do. So from here, you could pretty much go anywhere you want. And of course, you don't have to put your circles in this configuration or use them the same way at all. And all the rest of these circles will just go into my stash of, I have a little box of pre-punched and pre-cut pieces. And yeah, so it kind of reminds me of that whole moon phase thing. And to be able to make this workable now, I am going to go over the whole thing with just one coat of clear gesso. I can't put any kind of a liquid medium at all on top of this paper without doing that first. So a quick dry. And now I'm going to have some fun with this. So I have a little sleeping fairy that I cut out of one of my ephemera books. I'll link that in the description. But I fussy cut him out, and I want him to go on here. This looks like a moon phase to me. So a sleeping fairy. This is so stinking cute. Yeah, I just thought it was the perfect focal point for this. So let's get this background ready first. I'm going to use my Inktense pencils, and I wasn't quite sure what color I was going to go with. So I grabbed a couple, and I'm just going to use a little water to activate these. And I'm going to start going around these circles. See, I didn't like this. I started with this and I didn't like it. It's kind of a turquoise blue, but it wasn't what I was going for. So I've got most of it back off there, and I could not have done that if I had not covered this with a little bit of gesso first. So for me, every piece of art is it's a little experiment because I'm learning as I go. So I like this color much better. It's giving more of a shadow effect for me, and I'm much happier with this. So I am going to go around and create shadows around all of these circles. Just going around the outside edge of them all. And I don't care if this looks perfect or not. This is my background, and I'm just playing with it, just trying to make it look like these circles are a little more defined, I guess. But if you try this, just do what looks good to you. And it doesn't have to be Inktense pencils. I found that any watercolor pencils or even just a watercolor palette, you could do this with as well. I don't have a lot of watercolor palettes that are in these dark, deep, shadowy colors. So yeah, I'm just trying to define all my circles and make each one pop on top of the one that's underneath it. So I'm going around all of the circles. So you can see that it's just trial and error for me. I just keep adding. I just dropped my paintbrush. Yeah, I'm really good at this. Yeah, I'm definitely not an artist. I'm not a teacher. I just do what makes it look good to me. So I'm cleaning off my little, it's just a piece of plastic packaging that I cut up into squares. And I'm going to grab some white paint now, and I am going to blur out with just using my finger dipped in the white paint. My thought here was, now I love my moon cycles, I guess I'm going to call them, and now I'm going to blur out the background. And what's happening is I'm just dipping the paint on my finger, but when I add it to the watercolor that's around the outside, it's picking a little wee bit of that up and giving me this purpley gray smudge. And now I just love this. So I'm just going to add a little highlight with my paintbrush and this white paint. This is a watered down white paint that I have mixed in this little bottle, just a plain white acrylic paint. I use it for splatters, but it's been coming in handy for a lot of other things as well. So, of course, yeah, I decided I should put my splatters on this time before I add my focal point on, so I don't have to cover it up. I don't usually remember to do that. So I'm going to now glue this little sleeping fairy on the top of this card, and he should pop a lot more now because there isn't so much happening in the background. Look at him. Isn't he cute? Just so adorable. I love using my ephemera books for focal points. It just makes creating small art pieces so much fun. My Memorydex cards, my tags, my ATCs, postcards. These ephemera books are good for absolutely everything. I will put a link in the description box to it's to Amazon because that's where I buy my ephemera books, but it's to the list of all the ephemera books that I have and that I use when I'm creating pieces on my channel here. So it's time for a sentiment, and I don't usually use the black sentiments either, but I thought this was a perfect card for it. So I'm going to add a little wet glue to this. This is my Tombow mono glue. This is a good glue. It's a clear glue. And once I get my sentiment on here, The next step for me has always been to grab, I put white sentiments on, and the next step has always been to grab a white or a black paint pen and outline them in black. So I thought I'd do the exact opposite here. I'm just going around this with my white paint pen, only because it's going to make the sentiment lift off the page a little bit more. And then all I have to do is go around my edge. And I found the perfect way to do this. So I just use a watercolor pencil. This is an Inktense. Add a little bit of water to my finger. And then all I've got to do is add water along the edge of the card, and it makes that black line just pop. So that's how simple it was to create this card. I absolutely love it. I love making these Memorydex cards. Let me know in the comments if you're doing Memorydex cards or you're doing something else to create a piece of art every week. I would really love to know. I'm just cleaning up my desktop here, and I'll give you a look at what this card looks like close up. So yeah, I'm a messy crafter. Pushing everything down because you want to have it stick, and there it is. I am so happy, absolutely thrilled about how this turned out. So if you're enjoying the Memorydex Monday challenge, please let me know in the comments and let me know what you're working on. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, I'd absolutely love if you did that before you left so you can come back and see what else I'm up to. And I'll see everyone in the next video. Until then, bye-bye for now, everyone. Have a really wonderful day.